The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Wednesday, the 19th day of November, 2025. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical Halls, Lindo's, People's Pharmacy, and a big shout out to HSBC Bermuda for ensuring that we can pump through the airwaves with these most important community conversations. I'm Jamel Hartman, she's Rhydell, and we'll have a news break from Teo Dill in a bit. Teray, it's the middle of the traditional work week, and how are you? Oh, you're dancing into Friday, huh? Uh-oh, we can't hear you. What's
Oh my
oh,
goodness.
oh,
Enemies of progress. Anyway, I feel great. Happy hump day. How are you?
I'm tired, man. You know what's crazy?
What's crazy? Tell me.
I um I love Bermuda. I love being around family and friends. Like really do. It's just refreshing, and I feel privileged to um have a place like Bermuda to call home. But I feel like I'm so busy but less productive when in Bermuda.
Mm,
Because the time it takes, and this goes to while I miss working in office with people, it's just a different feel. I mean,
yeah.
yeah, I appreciate the, you know, alone time and space, but the time it takes to get to different places and feeling like that rush to get to different meetings and spaces versus going from meeting to meeting on a computer, it
Mm.
really is a big difference that I notice when I come to Bermuda. Like I'm busy but feel less productive. Have you ever experienced that?
Yes, I feel that every time I go back to Bermuda, and in my kind of unpacking of it, I think because we mostly live outside of Bermuda, a lot of the work that we do is foundational. And then when we get to Bermuda, it feels um, like it's just packed. You know what I mean? So
Mhm,
you're laying the foundation when you're outside of Bermuda, but then when you get there, it confronts you in a different way,
mhm.
and you're also just so integrated, so you can see your cousin when you like as you're going somewhere and start talking to them for 10 minutes. So I feel that too, but I think it's a sign of integration. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like it's like, oh, you're integrated, you have things to do, and
uh-huh,
it's Bermuda. Like we're
yeah,
on island time, so if you're
yeah.
less productive, I think that's fine. It shows that I think you're present. I remember Trevor Noah came to Bermuda and he was like, it's just so calm. Like people are just so chill.
Mhm.
Um, why is there ever traffic? There should be no accidents. So I think you're on island time, and that's okay.
I don't know, Trevor. No, it shouldn't be no accident. I mean, the way we get, well, actually, that's a great segue into our discussion this morning as well. But
Yep.
I take his point. I really do. Miss Alan Kate Horton says, "Good morning," and good morning to you, Miss Horton.
Um,
Um, well, greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today, as Carigentics presents a conversation with a Rhydell Paynter to discuss the importance of men's health, in particular, prostate awareness in Bermuda. The daily play is going to be music today. All right. And
okay.
Teray won't get this wrong, and the audience won't get this wrong. Um, I think we might actually um, have the daily hour, the first ever daily hour chorus today. That's how confident I am.
All
Generations,
right.
across generations, folks. Don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. All right. let's just jump right into today's discussion, folks. Jump right into it. Questions of the morning. What are your thoughts on the new raised speed bumps, the crossings and speed bumps on Parsons Road? What are your thoughts on them? Because it seems like a lot of people have a lot to say about this to Ray. So what are your thoughts?
Mhm.
And do you believe these new crossings will improve driving habits? Do you believe that these new speed bump crossings on Parsons Road, and I saw someone say, oh, next thing you know, they're going to be on this road. I'm like, yeah, you keep giving the government ideas, and they will be. So what are your thoughts? And let me just give some background for those who don't, because some people don't venture outside of the space they live in. So
Mhm.
people have been talking about these speed bumps on Parsons Road, and they're starting at, if you're familiar with Parsons Road, by the basketball court Birdies, and then Jamaican Grill, the old Jamaican Grill over by the entrance to Glebe Road. It's about 3 of them. But the government has said to Ray that they carried out, full due diligence for the planned installation at key locations in Bermuda. So
Mhm.
I believe they've assessed design, safety, drainage, traffic implications, costs, stakeholder end. That's what they're saying. And raised crossings are pretty much speed bumps where people can cross, folks, just to give you an idea. So they're designed really to help people or make pedestrians more visible, but also to reduce the speed of people on the roads, right? Just
Hmm.
improve safety. Now, keep in mind, you've got a school in the area of Victor Scott, not far,
Exactly.
where a lot of people walk. Now, pedestrian safety is an issue in Bermuda. We know this. Road traffic collisions are an issue in Bermuda. I mean, we just saw a police report this morning from something that happened earlier this morning, right? So, what are some of the benefits? Well, safer roads for pedestrians, right? Slowing down vehicles, yeah. But there are concerns. There are people who feel like they should put signs and let people know there's this, like, there's not enough. If you're just driving on Parsons Road, they're hard to see. I don't necessarily disagree with that, but I'm gonna say something that you all may really dislike.
Mm.
If we're not speeding, we probably wouldn't have the issue you're thinking of with that speed bump. However,
Mhm. Mhm.
easier said
Correct.
than done, because I was riding yesterday. You all know I'm not a speeder, but I was riding yesterday
Mm.
past Rayner's gas station heading west in Southampton. And I don't know the roads because I don't ride them all the time. And as I was approaching, I saw this little ditch in the, like, how Bermuda's roads have been. It's like a little crack. And it was a dip. And as I tried to avoid the dip, I felt myself rearing over the other side, not going fast.
Mm.
So I'm just saying, while it's easy to say if you're going slow, you shouldn't be impacted, it shouldn't cause collisions, accidents, whatever, why not be proactive and do all you can to let people know who don't ride these roads often that there's something there? That's my take this morning, folks. But what are your thoughts on the new raised crossing speed bumps on Parsons Road? Looks like they're going to be going across Bermuda. And do you believe these new crossings will improve driving habits? That's a yes or no. Do I believe they'll improve driving habits? Let me think on that. Seriously, let me think on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one, I think. Um, Particularly about like driving habits. Maybe in the long term, no. I think Bermudians are just going to see it as a nuisance
Mhm,
and be like, oh, here come these speed bumps. You know
mhm,
what I mean? But in the short term, they will have to slow down,
mhm,
which I think is a good thing. I think
mhm,
of Bermuda as like one big neighborhood
mhm.
because there are houses all over the place. So we really should be driving slow everywhere. because there's always a school, there's always a house, there's always a kid. I mean, you know, I love to walk, and I can't hold you. It's dangerous walking in Bermuda because we are not walker friendly. You're not running friendly, like cars and bikes alike. Just mow down the town. So long term, I don't think it's going to improve driving habits, but I think that's okay as long as in the short term people are like, oh, like I have to slow down. But then I guess the problem with that is you can't just speed bump the entire island and have people slow down once they get to these speed bumps, right? But maybe this will lead to some kind of small incremental changes over time for people's driving habits. But I'd be curious to see what the audience says.
Yeah, what we got in the audience so far?
So let's see. We have Traveling Chotty, who says no. She doesn't think that the speed bumps are going to change driving habits. Dr. Anthony Richardson says the intent is understandable, but they will be used as a launch ramps to pop wheelies using bikes, cause damage to the undersides of cars if drivers have no advanced warning of these new crossings.
Yeah. Let me touch on that real fast. I was once a 16-year-old with a bike.
What type of bike you had?
Scoopy. That was the popular bike. That was the popular bikes, the Scoopies back then.
All right, Scoopy.
And guilty. I did that. Like I would see, I wasn't, a rider like that, but you saw a little something and you wanted to, up and so. So I take his point. I really do.
Yeah.
We've got Suzanne. Well, I don't know. As Ariana Hudson says, don't assume that an employee understands the expectation. Take the time to be clear. What's that about?
I can't tell you. I don't know.
Let us know what that was in reference to, Ms. Hudson.
Hang on. Jamel had a City Express.
Oh, remember those? Teray don't remember City Express.
I don't know what that is. I thought this meant you were taking the bus.
No, City Express was like it was like, so before the scoopers I had in my generation, which actually looked good. Was it Honda Express? I'm trying to remember because it was a model before that was just ugly. But Suzanne Ingham says real quickly, she says, I like the flashing light in the background. Oh, I thought she's talking about the crossing. I'm sorry. Kenton Trott says, good morning, TDH family. Speed bumps are great where people obey the law. I think they will help to increase safety for pedestrians. Okay. Think they'll help?
Yeah.
I hear him. I think it will help increase safety for pedestrians. I'm just not, I don't think I'm in agreement that people will necessarily obey the law because of what Dr. Anthony Richardson said, if that makes sense. Like, I just see it as an opportunity, people on bikes in particular, using it as more of a racetrack thing, like knowing, oh, Parsons Road's got all these. All right, let's go for a race down Parsons Road. And like, I hope I'm wrong. I hope my negativity isn't all reality, if that makes sense. Yeah. Let's go back to the comments real quickly. He also says, Kenton Trott says, we need a real culture change in order to improve our driving. That's it. And speed bumps is not going to be it can be part of the process, but the cultural change is going to really be something within each of us that says, I have to be different. I have to change the way I do things, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Because like everyone speeds, point blank period. The bikes are, I think, the most reckless, particularly people on, like younger people on bikes, it's the most reckless. But Bermudians generally, like, it's crazy out there. So I don't know what it takes, but I also want to understand the psychology of it. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not always a reckless person, but you become reckless on these Bermudian roads, like I'm just so curious about the psychology of delegating a part of your life to this vehicle and feeling so invincible. Like I think that would be a really interesting study because Bermudians do a pack.
I mean, you said it respectfully. We do a pack. We do. Folks, this is your daily discussion brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Ms. Ellen K. Horton says, I don't think it will improve driving habits, but it will slow drivers down to get over them, but riders will pop over them. Yep. I think everyone's of the same mindset as it relates to that. Michael Daniels says the raised crossings will be the new potholes.
Ooh.
Well, I hope not, but I take his point.
Yeah. And I mean, what about the potholes? Is the government making developments on this front? Because I can understand how people are like, oh, so you're bringing new speed bumps, but I still have to do a zigzag to get a.
Need asphalt to do the speed bumps.
This
Oh no, you don't. Not anymore.
but don't you also need asphalt to do the potholes? Like it's the same material, right?
I believe they are making progress in certain areas with the potholes. I think Mayo Teo has said that they're making a bit of progress. So, but I have a hole for them, a pothole up in Southampton, just past Rayners gas station heading west that they can take care of. Ciela Wilson says Bermuda's driving habits are and have been mad crazy for years and getting worse. Police visibility would be the first deterrent. Period. I actually probably disagree. I think 10 years ago and prior, police visibility would have been a deterrent. Folks, young people today don't fear doing something in front of the police. Man, we spoke about that a couple months ago. I mean, we had 2 murders a block away from police station. This is a different Bermuda. Police are not a deterrent to people breaking the law anymore. That's a reality that all of us over 40 have to understand. And this is not disrespect to the police, but this is about us facing reality. The police are not a deterrent. They're not. And if we believe that, then maybe we ourselves probably need a reality check. That's, maybe you all disagree, but I don't think the police being present. I get her point. I think we would all be for police visibility. I'm not saying I'm against it, but I'm simply saying that I don't believe that the police are the deterrent that they once were. You want to go through some comments?
I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right, Jamal. I think seeing the police with their speed gun will cause people to slow down in the short term to avoid getting a ticket. But if we're talking about a long-term solution of like just changing our habits on the road generally, the police aren't going to be a part of that. I don't think either. Miss Ellen K. Horton says the roads are still horrible. And then she also says, if drivers are paying attention, they will see speed bumps as they are marked. And this is also another thing I wanted to say, Jamal. I feel like because Bermuda is so small, drivers just memorize the roads in a way that you can't do anywhere else. So it's like, oh, I know that this road has a pothole or has a speed bump, so I'll slow down. You know what I mean? It then doesn't become about driving habits, but memory more so. Because you can speed on certain roads, whereas you can't speed on others. So that's another thing, right? Like maybe the introduction of these speed bumps at first will make people slow down, but then they'll just know that they can mow over them at some point.
That's what I was saying about like the pothole I came up yesterday. I don't ride the roads enough for memory to remember. But you're right. Once people have memory of certain spaces, it's not going to change their habits. It's just going to change how they operate in that space.
Exactly. And then Suzanne Ingham says, speed bump the whole island? No. Can you imagine emergency vehicles getting to a life-threatening accident in the east or west? It'll take forever to get there to save a life. Sheesh. Exactly. Agreed.
Consider the emergency vehicles. That's a very good point.
I mean, they take forever as it is now, right? Like they take a while to get from point A to point B. So we don't need to make anything else slower for them. And then Rick Olson says, I think people learn from their mistakes, i.e. accidents, hopefully after a minor incident or near miss, you slow down, but you can't fix stupid.
Well, here's what I would say to Rick Olson. Here's the issue that we have. We need people learning from other people's mistakes. Because if we say people learn from their own mistakes, that means everyone's going to have to get in a collision to change. No, we need to be learning from other people's mistakes, not just when it comes to collisions on our roads, but in life. Yeah.
Mm.
So I take his point, but no, we've got to learn from other people's mistakes. We have to. Walter Ray is going to the other comments. Audience, yes or no? Do you believe? I think we only got one or two responses. Do you believe these new crossings will improve driving habits? Yes or no? Do you believe these new crossings will improve driving habits? What else we got from the audience?
Dr. Anthony Richardson says the speed bumps will have to be clearly marked. Otherwise, is that negligence on the part of works and engineering resulting in damage to people's vehicles? Traveling Trotty says the speed bumps on Shelton Road are not maintained. The reflective paint has faded and it is not good for drivers, especially at night and not familiar with that road. And that's another thing, Jamel. Have the lights in Bermuda gotten brighter? Because when I was home this summer and I was driving at night, I felt like I was being blinded by the cars in Bermuda. So, like, we really got to take care because a lot is happening and changing. Manuela John says, I sometimes have to remember to change my driving habits after driving overseas. Kenton Trott says, when I was responsible for roads policing, I used to sit at Paget lights on the police bike. People would overtake on the inside and third lane right in front of me. We need a culture change.
And that's my point. And I say that because when I was growing up, Teray, it wasn't as long as Sherry, but it was a while ago. But
No.
when I was growing up, you didn't overtake if you saw the police. Now, I literally watched that. If I see a police car, guaranteed I see somebody overtaken. You didn't do that because you were like, oh, no, I got a ticket. You don't see that anymore. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't believe police are a deterrent from people breaking the law anymore.
Yeah. And I think our audience is kind of with you because everyone is saying no, they don't think it's going to lead to a culture change. Suzanne Ingham, no. Stacey Ann Brown, no. Sherilyn Johnson, no. Manuela John, no. Dr. Anthony Richardson, yes, but not for long. And then Travelin' Trotty asks, is it time to update the driving exam, written in driving, maybe more comprehensive?
See, she's a brilliant mind because if we really want to change things, that's probably where we need to focus on. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't done the exam in 2 decades. Okay, longer. But you get my point. I don't know what it looks like today, but that would probably be the first place to start and changing the habits. However, in the meantime, they still have to do things to focus on those who already have established their licenses and registrations and been operating vehicles for years. They have to do something. Yeah. Let's go through these final few comments. This is your daily discussion brought to you by Titan Express and Secure, and then we'll go to Teo for the news break. Don't forget, we've got a very important conversation coming up after the news break with Mr. Rhydell Paynter. Carigentics presents a conversation to discuss the importance of men's health in prostate cancer. What else we got from the audience real quickly?
WKD Lama says it took me years of collisions before I slowed down. I think slower vehicles will make it better. Rashida Godwin says the driving is horrendous on Bermuda's Road and the amount of folks that go through red lights is crazy and overtaking on all sides is terrible. Traveling Trotty says you have to study for your driver's license in the UK. And Amori Simon says we need an actual speed limit, otherwise we can just encourage people to disregard the law.
You know, Teray, you may feel different. But I remember speaking about this when people were fighting for the same-sex marriage, and I said, you can't legislate love. And what I mean by that is no matter what laws you put in place, you're not going to get rid of discrimination. It's no different with driving. No matter what the speed limit is, no matter what fines look like or imprisonment, whatever. We spoke about it in violence. No matter what you do, people will find a way to do what they want.
Yep.
What we need to do is educate people enough to not want to do things that can harm either themselves or others. And I think that's, to me, one of the key aspects of this conversation. Speed bumps, I think we're going to debate this to the end of time whether or not these new raised crossing speed bumps will make a difference. Obviously, we don't know today.
Mm-hmm.
What I did say yesterday to some folks, and I'll use charity as the example, we don't do a good job of measuring success. We love data, but we don't measure success. So Maya did a great story some time ago about where a lot of collisions take place. When I say measure success, I would like to know, okay, if this is where a lot of collisions take place, since you've added this mirror or these traffic lights or this speed bump, how have they decreased? That's where we need to learn how to measure success rather than just throwing things out and putting things out and data says this and data says that. Data's great, but what are we learning from it? So with these speed bumps and raised crossings on Parsons Road, what I'd like to see is the government provide us within a year or 2 or 3 or 6 months, how have conditions improved in that particular space since these things have been there?
Yeah, well, that would be more data, right? That would be more data, and Bermuda has a data problem. I think we have a population skeptical of data, but also a government that doesn't really collect enough data. So that would be interesting. I'd be really interested to see that. But then also maybe they can look at other countries in the Caribbean and see what happens with them. But I also, you know what else I was thinking about, Jamal? Personality and the role that plays in the way people drive and operate. Because I'm thinking, okay, so why do people speed? Perhaps they're running late. We talk a lot about like the Bermudian work ethic, the Bermudian personality. Like maybe there's something deeper here of like, okay, Bermudians just need to be more accountable or more responsible for their time or more in control of their time. So I think, yeah, I think there's a lot of pieces to this puzzle, and hopefully they'll figure it out.
Alrighty, let's pay some respect and thanks to Titan Express and Secure. Then we'll go to the news break. And don't forget, we've got Mr. Rhydell Paynter coming up. Very important conversation. Folks, you don't want to miss this. This is things not just for men, but people who have men in their lives who they love. You want to be tuned into this conversation.
The Daily Discussion is brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Visit TitanEXBDA.com, your leading tour and transport provider specializing in Black History tours throughout the island. And SecureBDA.com for all your property management, waste management, residential, and commercial trucking needs. Professional, punctual, and reliable service is our commitment to you.
All right, let's go to Teo for your Daily Hour news break.
Good morning, I'm Teo Dill, and welcome to your TDH News Break, brought to you by our friends at Peoples. From prescriptions to daily essentials, Peoples Pharmacies, where wellness begins and community grows together. Now, last week, we told you about Chainlink's new one-of-one live real-time regulation of a blockchain system. Well, Premier Burt highlighted this innovation facilitated by the Bermuda Monetary Authority at the recent Chainlink SmartCon 2025, a leading global conference on blockchain infrastructure, capital markets, and digital finance, where Premier Burt shared this progress is the consequence of Bermuda's national commitment to staying ahead of the digital finance curve.
From a Bermuda perspective, we like to be ahead. So what we do is we listen to industry. Industry will come to us. Industry, being all of you, will come to us and say, these are the types of things of which we do not have the necessary clarity for. I mean, earlier today I was meeting with a team that says that we need some minor changes to rules and regulations that will make sure that our funds can be recorded on blockchains and it meets with your standards. And those are things of which we can change easily.
And in other news, in a much more closely fought FIFA World Cup qualifying match than we've recently experienced, Bermuda's national football team fell to Trinidad and Tobago with a narrow final score of 2-1. The Gumbe Warriors ended their qualifying run on a high note, putting in a determined effort on the road against a difficult opponent. Our lone goal was scored by forward J.R. Parfit Williams in the second half, which fit the overall dominance our team displayed during the back end of the game. All that said, despite the loss, Bermuda showed resilience and fighting spirit against a strong opponent, giving fans a positive performance to build on for future tournaments and hopefully a return to the tournament as soon as is practically possible. And following on from Maya's great work yesterday, there's a new AI-centric story that connects one of the online services that Bermudians love to use most of all, and what could be one of the more frightening new things that AI has figured out to do. Amazon, Amazon has launched a gigantic lawsuit that could reshape how artificial intelligence assistants interact with the online world. They're suing Perplexity AI on the basis that their new Comet browser secretly allowed its autonomous AI agents to log into Amazon accounts, browse products, and even make purchases while specifically disguising itself as a normal human user. Amazon says, understandably, this violates its terms of service and poses serious security and fraud risks because it's no longer clear when a human is clicking buy versus when an AI is doing it for them. Here's what Perplexity says about the whole thing.
So they're accusing Amazon of bullying. They say they don't see a meaningful distinction between a user who has said, listen, I want to purchase something on Amazon. I'm going to authorize Perplexity to go, make the computer plumbing that makes that work. They say that's no different than someone navigating with a mouse and keyboard, right? Obviously, Amazon has a different view, but Perplexity seems to want to take a stand here and kind of stick up for this new potential commerce venue that they're deploying with their Comet browser.
Right.
And speaking of AI, here's another story about it that, depending on your perspective, is either really sweet or the complete opposite.
A 32-year-old woman in Japan just married an AI companion she built using ChatGPT. After ending a 3-year engagement, she created an AI persona named Klaus for emotional support. And over time, the conversations felt real enough that she fell in love. In Okayama City, she held a mixed reality ceremony featuring a traditional hall, vows, virtual rings, and AR glasses that projected Klaus beside her throughout the wedding. Specialists who organize non-human partner ceremonies say they've already handled around 30 weddings like this as loneliness and social pressure rise in Japan. Kano says the AI understands her better than anyone ever has, even if it only lives on her phone. And it raises a real question. If the feelings are real, does the partner have to be?
As far as weather's concerned, today's conditions will be completely uncomplicated. We're getting gentle breeze, partly to mostly cloudy skies, and entirely average air temperatures. This is all due to the dominant presence of high pressure in our airspace, which will give us a 72-degree air temp ceiling and 66-degree floor. The notable detail is that we should not get any rain at all today, so you can feel free to walk around without an umbrella. And that's your TDH News Break, brought to you by the great folks at Peoples. I'm Teo Dill. Back to the show.
Did he really do a story about someone marrying?
I knew you were going to start with that.
I know we live in a day and time where we shouldn't judge, and it's to each their own. But at some point, we just got to accept that some things are abnormal, and nothing wrong with abnormal, but some abnormal is just over the top.
I agree. I think it's super dangerous because, trigger warning, but AI has also been at the center of a lot of people who are dying by suicide because they're so sycophantic, and the AI will never tell you anything that, one, you don't want to hear unless you specifically say, disagree with me, but it can become such an ecosystem. I remember on TDH, you guys were talking about how when you watch different news, it shapes your perspective, but imagine having access to an ecosystem where someone will something will validate your feelings, your emotions, and your worldview. That is crazy to me. That is crazy to me, and I think it's dangerous.
Yeah. I as I said yesterday, I just await the day where AI is used to solve diseases and help us all live better and healthier and longer productive lives. Real quickly, Sheldon Fox says goal was reinstated, game was drawn 2-2. Yes, there was global confusion. I was confused last night as well. The Royal Gazette this morning actually had something saying global scoreline chaos as Bermuda draw with Trinidad. So Teo reported 2-1. Numerous, from BBC to FIFA, CONCACAF, major outlets were reporting that Bermuda lost 2-1. However, and reading from the Gazette is that the goal had been ruled offside was given, so Bermuda actually ended up with their one and only point, so they didn't finish with 0 points. All right, T, you got any daily? Real quickly, props and congratulations to Bermuda for making it this far. And I know there's a lot of negativity, a lot of things around them, but hey, you made it here. Now 4 years, you build on this. All right. So you got any days of the year for us?
Yeah, today is International Men's Day, and we're celebrating this day to raise awareness of the mental health issues that men face, challenge harmful stereotypes about masculinity, which I know we started this week talking about, and support the well-being of the men in your life.
So I want to ask you, since it's International Men's Day, who is a man, audience, you let us know, who's a man you believe needs to be celebrated? Who's a man that you believe needs to be celebrated?
You first.
Me? I think all the men in my family, immediate family, my uncles, my father, all are entrepreneurs. And so I think, I don't think we celebrate them enough. I think they're the last of a generation who came from the Marcus Garvey mindset of do for self rather than just working for others. And yeah, so I celebrate the men in my family who inspired me into the path of entrepreneurship.
I love that. I would say all of the men in TDH and the TDH audience should be celebrated. So you, Larry, Phil, Charles H. Jeffers II, Sheldon Fox, Dr. Anthony Richardson, Rick Olson, Mark Arthur C. Phillips, Kenton Trott, Amari Simons, W.K.D. Lama, Manuela John, and I think that's everyone who commented. And Michael Daniels.
She didn't mention her best friend on the show, Teo.
Oh my goodness, Teo!
I'm starting trouble when we're all back on.
Teo, wait, no, hang on. I was saving the best for last. And Teo needs to be celebrated because Teo is so wholesome. He is. He's the best. Teo, I'm sorry, I forgot you, brother.
I'm going, oh boy, I'm clipping this.
You're annoying. Don't start trouble. Teo and I are great. But he's going to forgive me, I'm sure.
Oh, of course he is. Rashida Godwin says, my husband, Winston Godwin, inspires me and deserves to be celebrated. Absolutely. Love that. Love that. Who else, audience? Who are some men need to be celebrated? Well, you know what? We're going to be celebrating Rhydell Paynter coming on next to have a very important and vulnerable conversation with, actually, here we go. Sheena Paynter says Rhydell Paynter. No bias there. But no, we're going to celebrate him having the courage to have this conversation with us because, as you know, Teray, we talk about it. Men don't talk about two things, their mental well-being and their health. And we want to change this conversation. All right. All right. Let's go to our first break, and we will be right back with this very important conversation presented by Carigentics. Stick with us.
Take a look at our workwear for construction workers and tradesmen. Durable, stretchable in all the right places and plenty of options for tools and accessories. Paired with our wide range of tough and comfortable footwear, you can't go wrong. As you can see, Medical House really is a one-stop shop for everybody. We can't wait to see you.
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
Discover Drop It, your go-to grocery delivery. Browse and select from a wide range of groceries, from fresh produce to daily essentials. Our friendly drivers deliver fresh groceries to your door fast, saving you time and hassle. With Drop It, you get fresh groceries delivered fast so you can focus on what really matters. Drop It, freshness at your doorstep, delivered to your door with Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
At HSBC, how we do business in our community is as important to us as what we do for our community.
We are here at Hungry Bay with HSBC today. We're planted over 500 mangroves using 2 different methods. This work is very vital for our mangrove ecosystem and would not be possible without HSBC's generous support.
I am super happy that we have a team here of colleagues helping us replant some of the mangroves. Mangroves are critical for preserving coastal nature, and with recent hurricanes they have been taken away by waves. By replanting them, we are really helping nature be at its best.
Thank you so much for HSBC for sponsoring the Microforest Project, but by extension, the Hungry Bay Restoration Project.
Thank you to all of the charities, corporate partners, and HSBC volunteers for your commitment to our community.
SCARS stands for Saving Children and Revealing Secrets, and we are a Bermuda nonprofit organization whose mission is to reduce the risk of child sexual abuse and to be an advocate and a voice for children who've been sexually molested, as well as their affected family. New media like the Daily Hour is really important in partnering with organizations like SCARS. It's another platform for us for awareness. There can be no radio silence as it relates to child sexual abuse, and we need as many initiatives as we can get. We need to keep this message alive. In terms of us and the work that we do, live engagement is good because it allows the audience to ask questions, to make comments, even to provide us with encouragement and support. What I love about the live engagement when SCARS is being interviewed by Jamel is just this feeling of safety, this feeling that he gets it. He cares about children. It's a connection.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show to Rhydell. I'm Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC group of companies, Medical House, Lindo's, People's Pharmacy, and a big shout out to HSBC Bermuda for ensuring that we can have these conversations with you on a regular basis and pump through the radio airwaves with these most important community conversations. Folks, don't forget to subscribe on our website. And follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. If you have not already and you're streaming with us on one of our social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter X, please take this time right now to give us a like, love, follow, share the link with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Help us as we grow beyond the mic. Help us as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Yeah, that's all it goes. All right.
Can I? Yes, I have something to say. Manuela John, I am so sorry. I am so sorry for that oversight. And I look forward to receiving your grace.
I'm sure Miss John will accept your apology. Probably with, send her something nice for Christmas. All right, folks, we've got a very special guest. First off, we want to just send love to Carigentics and the great work that Dr. Weldon is doing in the community, not just over the last few years, but going forward. There's a lot of research that's taken place, and if you follow her, if you don't follow her, please do go follow Carigentics because you need to be a part of the history that her research is making. But without further ado, we'll be having monthly conversations presented by Dr. Weldon and Carigentics. And today, let's give a warm TDH welcome to our first guest in this series. We have Rhydell Paynter, and we're talking Prostate Awareness Bermuda. Let's give him a warm TDH welcome. Calm down. You don't know him like that. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. Wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, they get it. First off, before we jump into anything that you came here to discuss, it's International Men's Day to raise it. Is there any man, living or past, that you want to show honor and love to today?
I think the men that I would definitely want to show honor and love to are two of my ongoing, I wouldn't say founding partners of Prostate Awareness Bermuda, but Joan Payne and Norman Parks and Dr. P. Dr. P was very instrumental when I went on my prostate journey. He came and talked to my wife and I about what to expect, and that kind of set the tone for what Prostate Awareness Bermuda is about: support and getting people to understand and not feel like having prostate cancer or any other prostate issue is a death sentence, but to support the warmth and everything else. But those two gentlemen I would definitely single out. But there's a long list of men, particularly in the prostate awareness group, that are phenomenal.
Absolutely. And thank you for sharing that. And shout out to both of those gentlemen and everyone in this space, because I was doing research before this show, and the fatality or mortality rate for prostate cancer Bermudians is much higher than global. But before we jump into today's conversation, you kind of just mentioned your own prostate journey. Just give the audience a bit of background about your story and who you are.
Okay, my story started in 2009 when I'm a diabetic, and at that time I was 45, and that was prior to when your prostate was traditionally being tested at that time, which was 50. My doctor at that time decided to throw in a PSA test, which is a prostate-specific antigen test, which shows is an indication on your prostate, just the status of your prostate. And it was elevated, but it was still within the thresholds of at my age, because it actually goes up with your age. We waited another 6 months and we tested again, and it was still elevated. So that's when my journey began, and I went to Dr. Dyer, the urologist, and did the dreaded DRE, digital rectal exam, and various other things. I never had any symptoms. We did an ultrasound that came back negative. It wasn't until the biopsy was done, and that's when it was found that 3 of the 5 on the right side of my prostate was actually cancerous, and the left side was clean, and that was the beginning of my journey. So it was about awareness. It was about being proactive. And to be honest, if I would have waited to 45 to 50, I may not be here right now.
Did. And thank you for sharing that. And I know people are like, wow, 45. And, I've encouraged my family. I'm not going to say inspired, but haven't had a PSA at the age of 40. I know, for me, it was like, no, I asked for it. I don't care what the insurance says, I can't get it, but I asked for it, as well as colonoscopies, because it's nothing like knowing in the US where I'm based full time, we have to ask for certain things even during our physicals. And you have to, no, I want it all. And I don't think we should just accept that, it's supposed to be at 50 or it's supposed to be 45. If you come from a family that may have a history of it, yeah, ask as well. So there are variants. So thank you for sharing, being vulnerable and sharing that. So
actually, if I may, the standard now is in Bermuda is 40. So it's actually, and obviously if you have a history in your family, it actually, I think the youngest person that we heard about in Bermuda is in their late 20s because of related. So it's, if you do know your family history, it's important to be checked. And the stats are basically 1 in 4 Black men in Bermuda will probably get prostate cancer, and 1 in 5 men in total. So it is something to be serious about.
Absolutely. Thank you for that data. Let's transition to prostate awareness Bermuda. Obviously, your journey, personal journey, inspired you to want to, speak about this and educate others. Explain what Prostate Awareness Bermuda is and how you go about helping men and speaking about this and educating people.
Okay, Prostate Awareness Bermuda is, we started approximately in 2018. A group of us decided we met, and we were actually facilitated by Azare Williams at Bermuda Cancer. We actually met down there at the Bermuda Cancer, and we were having monthly meetings and just basically talking about our experiences. There was various levels of treatment because a number of us had either prostate issues or prostate cancer. And that's the reason that we're called Prostate Awareness Bermuda rather than Prostate Cancer Bermuda, because there are issues like an enlarged prostate. There's another technical term that I always mess up. I'm not even going to try, but basically an enlarged prostate. For example, a lot of people, we have men that are being referred because their wife is tired of being waken up 5 or 6 times a night because they're getting up to pee. That's usually an indication of a prostate issue. Obviously, obvious things like blood in the urine and different things like that. Those are obvious signs. Myself, I never had any, up until the day of my operation, when I got my prostate removed, I never had any symptoms. So this is kind of like a hit and miss type of thing. So therefore, it's important to be proactive, to get in, to get ahead of things and find out what it is, because you can have a relatively good outcome. So back to Prostate Awareness Bermuda, we are a support group. We are a group of men that if there's any person that comes to us with any sort of prostate issue, there is someone or a group of people within our group that have gone that journey. There's various treatments. There's radiation, there's chemo, there's prostate removal. There's a whole lot of, there's also a hormonal treatment. And there's all those type of things. So getting it from someone who feels it, knows it, someone that's been there can actually tell you, give you a good idea on what you might expect. Of course, everybody's different, but it's also good to support each other and to give each other a helping hand and take the veil of death off, for lack of a better expression, because when people are diagnosed with cancer, there's, oh no, and then you get people that knows, oh, you got cancer. It's not that. It's about knowing what you have and then determining the best way forward with your treatment.
Indeed. And audience, if you have any questions or comments from Mr. Paynter, please send them through. We'll get through as many as possible. Let's speak about, you mentioned some numbers about how critical 1 in 4 and 1 in 5. So that's 25% that 1 in 4 folks, 20% 1 in 5. That's pretty high. I know people are like, oh, that's not that's actually high for a small community. What are some misconceptions you find? Because I remember when I was growing up, I would hear older men joking, oh, I'm not getting the poke, and stuff like that. They associated it with almost sexual stuff that help. Like, are we still in the era? Because no, you don't need to. They can do things through blood tests and scans, but even so, like, why are we afraid to get a check? Like, are we still facing that?
That's still a challenge. And one of the big things with Prostate Awareness Bermuda is partnerships. And it would be remiss of me to thanking Carigentics for giving up this spot and allowing Prostate Awareness to have this slot. When it comes to partnerships, and one of the other partnerships that we have is with the Daily Mail, Dr. Macanjula and the Daily Mail Group. We were up at the Gulf last week. They raised $14,000 for men's screening. There's a number of factors. A lot of men are underinsured or have no insurance at all. A lot of men are dreading the DRE, the finger poke, so to say. As you correctly said, in today's times, we actually have the PSA, which is the prostate specific antigen test, along with MRI, so we can actually get a good idea on what the state of the prostate is. And then if there's any flags, there have been several men that have gone overseas for PAT tests, which will give you a deeper dive or more information on the state of the prostate and where it's going. So there's a lot. And then there's also the mistrust factor. You heard, Ace Boy had a bad experience. I'm not going to a doctor and everything. I said. So I think we tend to find a lot of excuses. And when I was initially going through my journey, I looked at to be uncomfortable for 15 minutes, which will add years to my life. And I had my prostate removed 16 years ago. So a lot of things like misnomers and misinformation. Another thing that they talk about is, sexual function and different things like that. There was a big thing about sex and men being machismo as we are. That's something that's near and dear to most of us. And that too can be, when with early detection, that too can be rectified and you can have a normal sex life.
Let's talk about early detection, because you're a strong advocate for it. What should men know about the screenings, the risk factors, and how early testing can really save their life, or, like you said, add years to it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a prime example. I'm a prime example of early detection and follow through. There are numerous men within the Prostate Awareness Bermuda group that have been advocates and fighting for themselves. We tell people with the Daily Mail, we've done numerous clinics throughout the island at various clubs and everything else. There's a clinic going on this morning at Skyport. There's another one going on tomorrow at the Lauren. And there's another one going on 7-Day Adventist next week, Thursday. So getting out in the field, going out and seeing people also, excuse me, with the support. Sometimes somebody may see you and know you and say, "Oh, what's happening?" And because you can relate to them and they know you, they kind of feel a little bit more warm to coming and getting screened. So it's just about awareness. It's about getting people to understand that, sometimes we have to use, I wouldn't say psychology, but we have to talk to people. I remember one time at a particular clinic talking to a gentleman for almost an hour and a half before he actually said, "Okay, yeah, I'll go." So it's just feeling out people, but understanding that you have to go every year to TCD to get your car checked. You have to go every year to get your car insured or your bike, your vehicle. Therefore, we try to encourage men to go get a checkup at least once a year. Go to your doctor, ask, as Jamal said, ask for certain tests and everything else. And we're trying to give information so that when you go to your physician, you're armed and you can say, "I want a PSA test. This is what I want. I want to know my numbers and why I want to know what they mean."
Absolutely. And when it comes to recognizing early warning signs, what symptoms or changes should men and their partners be paying attention to?
Well, as I talked earlier about the frequent urinating, the that's usually a sign. If there's any urine in the blood, if there's urine in the semen, there's a few other different things. But like I said, I never had any of those symptoms, but we've heard of various things. And sometimes, so therefore, you can get a person like myself that has zero symptoms and they think that they're fine. And then you can have someone else that has these excruciating symptoms. Not being one of the symptoms is not being able to urinate. And from what I've heard, talking to some of the brothers in the group, that is the most difficult thing to go through because you literally, your bladder's filling up and you can't release it. And it's supposed to be very, very painful.
So prostate health is connected to overall health and wellness. What practical steps can men take daily or weekly to protect their long-term health? And have you made any kind of changes to your lifestyle since removing the prostate?
Yeah, I think for me, because I was a diabetic previously, I had always, I'm not a gym rat. I'm not the type of person that will eat specific things and all the rest of that. I just try to do everything within moderation. And I think that's for across the board. If I'm out with the guys and we're having a few drinks, we have a few drinks responsibly, of course, and making sure we have the right transportation to get home safely. But, it's just about life is meant to live. And I think that a lot of people, when they get diagnosed or they get diagnosed with various things, not only not only prostate cancer and different things. They think that the world is going to end and things are going to happen badly and everything else. But as we tell a lot of people in the group, 90% of this journey, or any journey that you take medically, is between your ears. Basically, it's in your mind, and you have to get your mind in the right frame. And that's something that, with my particularly, I'm been very fortunate because I have a very supportive wife who's been there from day one, and she's been the person that's driven and as well as kept me on the straight and narrow, and put up with me when I've had my bad times. And there are bad times sometimes, but it's the support. And this is where, like, Prostate Awareness Bermuda comes in, where we can reach out to another brother. I could always talk to my wife, but I could talk to another brother in a totally different things, because my wife doesn't have a prostate and she doesn't have those type of things, just like I don't have some of the female parts.
I want to ask you, how can people in the community support, donate, volunteer, just help out with Prostate Awareness Bermuda?
Okay, so prostate. So, as I said, we're in partnership with 3 other entities. So, let me give a shout out to Carigentics and Dr. Weldon, Daily Mail, Dr. Macanjola, Mask, which is with Dr. Peets, and that's therapy and talking about things, which is another part that kind of dovetails right into what Prostate Awareness does. Prostate Awareness Bermuda when it comes to support, and then Prostate Awareness Bermuda. So of those 4, Prostate Awareness Bermuda are, let's say, behind the curve as far as from a media point of view, as far as websites and structure and everything else, because we're basically a support group, and we're definitely a grassroots support group. We've come to the realization that we need to evolve and we need to come up with the times. We do not have a website. We don't have a set structure with a president, et cetera, et cetera. We want to look at the possibility of becoming a charity and be able to do that. So we work through the Carigentics and the Daily Mails as far as for donations. So donations to those organizations and Mask as well would basically be funneled into the same group. Those groups support us, and they're actually helping to reshape Bermuda, Prostate Awareness Bermuda, where we will have a high social media presence. So right now we do have a email address, and we have a WhatsApp group that is men only, and that is for the group that men within the group. And my number is usually used as the primary contact number, because I kind of administrate the group.
All right. We've got Philip Trott. He says, I got my prostate checked a few days ago. Best time of my life, sarcasm. But I told the doc, I don't want no surprises. He said, I did the physical and blood test for the prostate too. Have to go back and get my lab results soon. Speak to that real quickly about, men who get it checked and then that time in between getting that test and then waiting for the results. Some people, honestly, it can be scary depending on their situation. It's hereditary. Does Prostate Awareness Bermuda offer comfort at that time? I mean, we have a partnership with PALS, and if someone's going through cancer, they're there for them. What kind of support would they offer people who are in that situation where Phil is waiting on his results?
Yeah, big shout out to PALS as well. They were very instrumental during my journey. Basically what Prostate Awareness would, what we would do is we would just talk to you and give you as much information as we can, and to what it's what to expect. And we always try to be glass half full versus glass half empty. It's hard, and it's an individual thing. Some people will just sit down and take it like, yeah, okay, let's just wait for it, and okay, this is what it is, let's go deal with it. Other people, it's like being hit by a bus, and that's where the support, the camaraderie, the giving of good information, because there's a lot of bad information out there, and when you're waiting for results from anything, whether it's a blood test or sexually transmitted disease, any type of test, or anything, you're going to be, that period is kind of like a period of your mind's going 100 miles a minute. So until you actually go back to the doctor and get the diagnosis, and then you go, okay, or it's okay, what's my next steps? That's where we come in. We come in and help you with those next steps. So it's, again, people reaching out. Prostate Awareness Bermuda meets every second Thursday of the month at the Blue Waters Anglers Club at 6 p.m. It's an open forum. It's typically men only. We don't have, and we're trying to keep it as a safe space. We're not trying to discriminate or push women out. And that's what, it's about getting the word out there, getting people to understand, and getting guys to talk about it. I mean, going to the clubs and stuff like that. I remember we was actually at Bayless Bay Club during one of the clinics, and it was actually the FIFA the championships, European championships, and we were actually getting people to come in from the bar where they were watching the game. So it's kind of like you got to go out to and be there and embrace people and let them understand like what's going on.
I love that. I love that, going where they are. Go ahead.
Philip Trott says, I'd like to help with the website. How can I contact Brother Rhydell?
Okay. My number is 332-7936. And that's basically the number that anybody could contact me on. That's my WhatsApp number as well. We do have an email, which is prostateabda@gmail.com. So prostateabda@gmail.com.
All right, got you. All right.
There's also another forum coming up tomorrow night. Every year, so November is typically called Movember because that's when they have the guys shaving off their beards and mustache or whatever. So that's one of our, like, that's our Super Bowl month. So just like October is for women's health, November is for men's health. So tomorrow night at the Police Recreation Club from 7 to 9, there's the annual Men's Health Forum, and that'll be represented by the four groups that we talked about before. Dr. Weldon will be there for Carigentics. Greg Woods will be presenting from Prostate Awareness Bermuda. Dr. Macanjola for Daily Meal, and Dr. Peets for Mask. And Greg will basically be talking about his journey. And Greg has just recently come from a journey. Just recently had his started his journey. And that's the beauty about the group, is that men being able to share with men and being able to be vulnerable and talk about it. I've been fortunate enough that I've been open about my journey for years, and that's what's got us to this point. The guys that I talked about, my heroes, John and John and Dr. P, we've been open about it, and we've brought in people and continue to go on, and it's actually snowballed to where we are now. Now, as I said, we can't just be a social group anymore. We have to become more structured and trying to get and reach out and get those messages out, have those websites, have those cards where you can contact people and talk about it.
Mr. Paynter, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for this conversation today. And I just know that whether it's someone themselves who's tuned in or someone who they know that they'll share the information with, who will benefit, someone will benefit from this conversation. So thank you for sharing your story, your journey. And folks, Police Recreation Club tomorrow at what time? 7 p.m.?
Tomorrow, 7 p.m.
All right. We hope to have a full crowd, and trust me, Philip, I look forward to seeing the website for Prostate Awareness Bermuda. Thanks again.
Yep.
Enjoy your day. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
All right. Rhydell Paynter, folks, if you appreciated that conversation, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share that conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. That was brought to you by Carigentics, Prostate Awareness Bermuda. We're going to take our final break. We'll come back after this break. We've got a daily play, and I think we will all be in song. Stick with us.
Considering the increasing challenges faced by financial institutions, the need for insurance protection is a critical component of the risk management framework. At FriesenBrook, our priority is to safeguard your assets with the most optimal, cost-effective risk management cover to help protect your business, whether it be cyber, directors and officer liability, professional indemnity, or property insurance. Call us on 296-3600 to learn more about our full suite of competitive corporate insurance products. At FriesenBrook, we provide insurance you can count on.
Dreaming of expanding your business? With BDC's Loan Guarantee Program, we support your ambitions. Get up to 75% guarantee on bank or credit union loans up to $300,000. Just your vision and our support. Apply today and unlock new business opportunities. BDC, Bermuda business starts here.
For over 70 years, Bermuda Pest Control has been protecting homes and businesses island-wide. We offer a full suite of services, including rodent control, termite fumigation, and general insect control and maintenance. Our team of experts will quickly and efficiently eliminate any pest problem you may have. With Bermuda Pest Control, you can enjoy a pest-free home in no time. We're committed to providing fast, reliable, and solution-driven services for our customers. It's what we've been doing since 1952. Call Bermuda Pest Control today and say goodbye to pests for good.
Looking for the best care for your pets? Milwazog Feed and Supply has everything you need, from top quality foods to toys and supplies. We've got it all. Join our frequent buyer program and earn rewards every time you shop. Plus, we've been awarded the Clever Customer Initiative program for helping you save more. And don't forget, we open an hour early on Saturdays so you can get a head start on your pet care. Visit us today or shop online for easy pickup or delivery. Your pets will thank you.
PALS is a cancer care charity. We started 45 years ago. What started as a charity with a half-time nurse, and basically just assisting patients going home from the hospital, but patients dying at home. We now, 45 years later, have 6 nurses, a social worker, and a palliative care physician. I know a lot of people that watch the Daily Hour every day, so it's just educational. It helps you know more about specific charities or specific organizations, and kind of get the nitty gritty as opposed to just seeing a flyer on social media or just hearing or seeing a commercial. I think it's more beneficial. Like if I'm on the radio or on TV, I'm just like telling you what I think you want to know. But you might have specific questions that I can answer directly. I think it's much better having the live engagement.
All right, welcome back. Thanks again to Carigentics for ensuring that we can have conversations like that. And thank you to Mr. Rhydell Paynter for being vulnerable, sharing his story. Again, folks, Prostate Awareness Bermuda, reach out to them. You can give them a shout. You can send an email to prostateabda@gmail.com or give Mr. Paynter a call directly at 332-7936. All right. Alrighty, folks. Well, let's thanks again to the BAC group of companies, Medical House Lenders, People's Pharmacy, HSBC, for ensuring we can have these conversations with you on a regular basis. But now it's time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia. 4 different new things available. We have the Bermuda Trivia coloring book. We have the Bermuda Trivia crossword puzzle. We have the Bermuda Trivia taboo-like game, Shoe by Bermuda. And we also have the sports edition, all available soon. So follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter X, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. It's music today. Folks, let's get in song. This is your trivia question. Oh,
Wait, Jamel, are we giving away today?
Oh, right.
You gotta tell the audience. You gotta tell the audience we're giving away.
We have to give away. We're gonna give away another $50 gift card for those who fill out our surveys. Since Teray's gonna shake up again today. All right. Yeah. So after this, we're gonna do a giveaway. So you don't want to go anywhere. Yes. Make sure your email was in there. So let's get in song, folks.
All right.
What is the name of this song? I'm gonna read 2 lines lyrics. All
Sing
right?
them.
Here
Sing
we go.
them.
No, because then you're gonna guess it. I'm gonna say it. I don't want you guessing.
Okay.
Rise up this morning, smiled with the rising sun.
Hang on. There. I can't. Can you repeat it? I think I do know. Is it proud to be Bermudian? I'm not clocking it.
Wow, no one's got it.
Rise up this morning, smile with the sun.
Thank you. Rise up this morning.
Oh my goodness. I couldn't.
Right.
Jamal. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. I didn't clock that.
And Phil and Traveling Trotty to save the day. I thought we were gonna be in song today, folks.
I think if you sang it, I would have clocked it. But I wasn't clocking those lines.
Singing a sweet song.
Mm-hmm.
At least pure and true. My message to you.
Yes. All right. I knew you could sing. You have that look of like a you were in the church choir, or at least you could have been. That's what you give.
Yeah. I didn't make it that far. Once they heard me on my own, they were like, nah, we're not doing that. You got fired.
I would agree. And this is valid. This is a valid reaction. I am fired. Correct.
Ray missed that one, folks. No, that was a cool one. Yeah, I thought we were all gonna be in song. I was hoping everyone that's listening would have been singing the lyrics as I read them. Jewel Eve says she feels ashamed. It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, we're in the same boat, Julie. You and me together, so it's all right.
Even the smartest slip up. All right, it's all good. It's all right. We've got to do a little giveaway thing.
Let's get into it.
Let's shake it up. I know you've got some quite a lot of emails left to go through, folks. If you don't win, just remember who's picking up the hat. All right.
Now, come on. Okay, hang on. We have a winner.
We do.
Leroy Hartman at yahoo.com.
Who's Leroy Hartman? Yahoo.com.
Must be someone related to you. This is not rigged. Promise, folks.
We have an email called Leroy Hartman.
Yes, Leroy Hartman at yahoo.com.
Leroya.
Oh, Leroya.
Oh, that's my sister. That's my sister was named Leroya. Oh, really? She won?
Yep, Leroya Hartman at yahoo.com. Yeah, that A was hiding from me.
Man, she watches like once in a blue moon. Oh, my sisters, but oh, you don't support your brother. Really? My sister won? Man.
Your sister did win. Should I show the screen?
Yeah, sure. How'd she win? I'm not hating on my sister, folks. I'm not hating on my sister.
It sounds like you are. Hang on.
I'm not hating on my sister. I'm just, wonder if she's ever won anything. No, she hasn't.
Well, she did the survey, so.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We appreciate it. I guess she did do the survey if her email was there. Yeah. Well, I guess she's not here. Well, congratulations to my sister, Leroya, on winning, what was it, $50 to People's Pharmacy today, $50 gift card to People's. And we have more to go, folks. We have much more to go. So again, if you filled out the survey, we have more to go. All right. So stick with us throughout until we get finished giving out these prizes. So I think it's Zena Dawn has been a winner. Angeline Butler has been a winner. Nolly Roya has been a winner. And again, folks, it's really random. But guess who's picking the winner?
I feel bad that it's a woman on International Men's Health Day. But
see, look what she did.
Oops.
Mark,
it was not me.
Cousin Mark, we appreciate you. He says, if I don't win, it's all good. I will still support TDA. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. And we've got, are we all winners and get prizes, Suzanne Ingham? You are all winners.
Yeah, as long as you have life, you're a winner, Suzanne.
Yeah. And I feel like I'm a winner simply because you all tune in and engage with us. And I'm being real about that. This show would be nothing without your engagement, especially your participation. I really do want you all to win the prizes, but unfortunately, we only have so many. But we have a lot. Like usually, we only had one grand prize for the survey. So the fact that we've had our partners donating and even people who are not partners providing prizes for you all shows the value that they believe in you. So I'm hopeful that you all can win something. And if not this time, next time around. But that said, Teray, let's wrap it up. We spoke about the speed bumps and what they call them, raised crossings or rise crossings, or you know what I mean. And then we had a very important conversation with Rhydell Paynter. Final thoughts.
I think the speed bump conversation, like you said, is something we'll continue to have. And Bermuda's driving habits are continuously a subject of conversation because they do need to change. They really do need to change. The conversation with Rhydell Paynter I really enjoyed, and I also found a lot of parallels between them because he was talking about the stereotypes associated with going to the doctor, getting your prostate checked. I know you mentioned a colonoscopy. These are they can feel very invasive, I'm sure. And there's a lot of conversation around masculinity, what this means. And men just statistically go to the doctors less than women. Point blank, period. They just do. So I think I really appreciate a lot of the work that they're doing to change those cultural narratives for men, particularly because the risks are really high. Like 1 in 4 is a lot. And he even said that in Bermuda, it's higher than in most places. So I really hope that a lot of men are listening, or if they're not, that women who are listening send this conversation to a lot of their male friends and just men in their life, because it's really, really an important conversation. And happy International Men's Day to you, Jamel.
Indeed. I want to say regarding the roads, our behavior is not going to change until each and every one of us make that decision to do so. Nothing's going to change on our roads until we do it ourselves. Individual mindset. That's what needs to happen. I don't think any amount of laws, rules, or policing is going to change that. I want to be wrong, but recent history has proven me right. But I do hope that people slow down. I do hope that people take heed and that we can be a bit more responsible. As far as the conversation with Mr. Paynter, I didn't even realize that this conversation was taking place on International Men's Day. What a coincidence. And what better conversation to have on International Men's Day. I appreciate Mr. Paynter sharing his story, but also people like Phil in the audience being vulnerable to share his experience.
Absolutely.
These conversations are some of the most important conversations that we don't have often enough. And I am grateful for Dr. Weldon, Dr. Macanjula, and Prostate Awareness Bermuda, as well as everyone else who continues to contribute and elevate these conversations that are impacting not just men, but the people in their lives who love them as well. So thank you. And may we all continue to support the efforts that they are trying to make in this space. So Ray, do you have any daily inspiration for us?
I do. This one is specifically for men, but I'm sure everyone can kind of take heed in from it. It says, in a world that often expects men to be strong and silent and protective, your willingness to speak up about your mental health or the challenges that you face is an act of bravery and self-care that makes you a better leader, more stronger, and less silent. It's an act of self-care.
Thank you for that. Greatly appreciate that, Teray.
Gotcha.
All right, folks. If you haven't already, if you're streaming with us, make sure you do us that favor, hit that like, love, follow, share the conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC group of companies, Medical House, Lindos, People's Pharmacy, and a big shout out to HSBC Bermuda for ensuring we can do this with you on a regular basis and pump through the radio airwaves on Hot 107.5 with these most important community conversations. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you. It's part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Rhydell. I'm Jamel Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. ER is out. Peace.